Oh, hey, Bram. How's things? I'm still getting a little settled in. Just got done making some barley tea. Living? Nice. I'm gonna sleep early tonight. I definitely ought to. As well. It has, trying to keep up with this drawing schedule has, taken its toll. But fortunately, tonight is gonna be pretty easy. I'm just letting my pen charge up for a quick second before I get in on, like, doing some sketching. I just need to figure out what the next couple of pages are going to look like. Thank you, thank you. Same to you as well. That Road Warden game looked pretty cool, by the way. I do like some of those more literary games, as long as they actually have a point. Yeah, that definitely is gonna be something I'll have to check out. Oh, barley tea is good. So good. And it has no caffeine, so I'm not messing myself up. And it's not just straight chicken broth. Like, you do have to sign up for all the reading and be in the mood, but if you are, the writing is top notch. Absolutely. Bram, have you ever played or seen gameplay of Obra Dinn? I'm sure you have. Oh my gosh. Uh, well, I opened up my, I enlarged a window, and it reposted a bunch of old messages, which is interesting. Really weird, but whatever. Drink that. Yeah, drink that isn't straight chicken broth. Delicious, I know. Although, to be fair, that chicken broth was pretty dang good. I should make some like of my like own. There was one that I made where it was just I took all the leftover bones after like I got done eating a rotisserie chicken, threw everything into a pot, boiled that thing out, and threw in some seasoning. Oh, I would drink that on its own. That stuff was amazing. Yeah, I got to the spider. Yeah, you're right. Now I remember. Now I remember you saying that you got to the spider crabs. Yeah. I'm thinking of a couple of fun story games to play so that way I can do some reading. Oh, yeah. Put in some nice peppercorns, a little bit of onion, maybe an apple. Various herbs and such. Oh, yes. That's that Legend of Zelda, Wind Waker, Grandma's Broth kind of stuff. You might like one. I remember what it is. Ooh. Ooh. Yeah. Yeah. Why did it make my face look angry when I was doing a pog face? I really gotta sit down and tune this thing. One of the things with the VTuber models is that it is good at picking up a lot of stuff, and for like the hand and other stuff, I'm basically just tech limited at this point. But for expressions and stuff, I need to fully rig out one of my I have a weird version of a stream deck, I think I called it. The Elgato thing where you push the buttons and then it makes your the effects and stuff happen on your screen. I have a Azeron. It looks like I don't know how to describe it. It looks like an inside-out power glove. You ripped all the components out and put it into like a hand-shaped thing, and it's kind of like, yeah, it's a very ergonomic 27 set of keys. Wooden Ocean. That does sound interesting. Let's take a look at that while we're hanging out. Wooden Ocean. Oh yeah, this looks interesting. Art looks pretty fun. Very RPG Maker-ish. Trailer is lots of oh, there we go. That now we're seeing some stuff. Okay. And then back to Eternal Black Screen. All right, I've got the idea. Excellent. I don't mind a little brutal. I played me some Neo Scavenger. I watched a man get impaled on a horrible machine, covered in spikes, and then turned into long pork and then fed to you. Neo Scavenger's a real crazy ass game. It's really interesting how they didn't go nearly as hard with the new game that they made, Astronauts. Astronauts is comparably very tame. It isn't without its charm, it's just a little bit... eh. Astronauts. Uh, Here, I'll spell it for you in the... Astronaut. There you go. Yeah. I don't, I do know how to describe it. It is a space salvager game. You basically are on a mining colony, and you get a bunch of other, like, you get these cool, like, story starts. Sometimes you can go to prison. Other times you can get a whole ship. But the gist is that you need a ship to be able to go out into space with. And there's a lot of really, like, they don't mess around at all with the ways that you can just die. If there's one hole in your ship, anywhere on those tiles, you're dead. If you crash just a little too hard, you're dead. If you don't pay for your license that allows you to go to salvage ships, you're dead. If you don't know how to turn on the generator properly, well, you're not dead quite immediately, but you might irradiate yourself. Like, it's very, it's similarly unforgiving, but it is also much more, they're trying out different things with that game, I think, and I can appreciate it. They want to try doing, like, a colony simulator thing where people have, like, relationships and things like that. So it's kind of a cool sim game that they're trying to build at, but I've never once touched any of that stuff. I can barely get past just the salvager part. Okay, let's see. This Wooden Ocean game definitely seems pretty cool. It reminds me of a game that Dragol might enjoy. Um, oh, I gotta be aware of where my arm is in relation to my head with this thing. Hmm. I do like brutal games. I don't know if I should do them on stream unless I'm already past the, like, the first the first 5 stages of grief with it. Like, I don't know if I want to be going through the 5 stages of grief on, like, on camera. That would be a little rough for everyone involved. But once I get past that point, I love playing games like Kenshi and just showing how stupid that game is. Or trying to get back up on that mountain. I will eventually get 50 clears of that mountain on in Bennett Foddy, or getting over it with Bennett Foddy. I think I'm at 4 or 5 right now. It looks cool, but it's got tricks up the sleeve that are really sick. That's good. I like clever and interesting games. As I was saying yesterday, I do think that a lot of good games right now, a lot of the best games are in the indie space. AAA games really are not where it's at right now. They're more or less just glorified publishers. They're going through what I describe as the EA death spiral. If you take a look at EA about around 10, 12 years ago, there was an interesting situation where they were constantly floating near bankruptcy, and they had this strategy of trying to clear the bankruptcy by shoveling out a ass ton of games, hoping that one of them, just one of them, might be able to get enough to justify all the rest of it. And so that was the entire MO, and that is why the term shovelware exists, to describe how EA as a publisher and many other publishers would just shit out 10 billion garbage games that nobody actually wants to play, hoping that they'll find the one Assassin's Creed. 50 clears of getting over it is a ton. It is a lot. But what's fun is, each time I've cleared it, I do get faster. The fastest clear I've made of it was... Oh my goodness. Hello, Prismatic Queen. Thank you for the follow. The fastest I think I've cleared getting over it is about around 15 to 20 minutes, but I was, like, cranked. I was a night where I was, like, I'd already cleared it once, and my brain was fresh on, like, getting over it like bullshit. And I was just like, I'm climbing this mountain! And I got up the mountain again, and I was like, this is the best night ever. I couldn't do it again. The very next one started taking, like, I think it's currently at, like, the 8-hour mark. Oh, yeah. Okay. I think that's enough charging out of this. Pen should be good to go. Let's get this baby on a roll. I mean, there's still something to the shovelware strategy, because, like, that's sort of where small artists learn. Quantity over quality and over that. And all that. You do have a point. I do, I can appreciate that mindset, for sure. It gave a lot of people good work. And it got those people the ability to start learning how to make those games a little bit more properly, so that way they're better trained for the next set. I can agree to that. Yeah. Pretty good way to think about it. But, to that credit, that strategy never really panned out for them in the long run. That's why it is called the EA Death Spiral. Because every year, it got harder and harder to find the next Assassin's Creed to pay for everything else. Which I guess explains a lot of what's going on with the current game industry situation, where it feels like they are so scared to make a move because if they do, they are going to lose money in some way, like some unexpected way. Like, they just can't seem to find a way to get people to, like, care about the stuff that they're making. And it doesn't seem like they are able to innovate for a variety of reasons that include their IP just wouldn't be able to handle it. The focus of their engine doesn't handle it. The way that they've organized their, like, budget and their teams and everything like that. They basically have to be taking shots in the dark and hoping that one of them sticks. Except with actual effortful ideas, things that would require real money to go in and, like, make. So, but when you're a company, you can't really take that risk. When you're just an indie guy, you can crank out 100 of these things, and all you need is to figure out how to make the one good game, and you're set. A company needs to make the one good game every year. And that's rough. Not as a, like, corporate stooge, like, I'm standing up. Someone has to think about poor Blizzard. That's right, I'm coming back. I'm the Blizzard fanboy. The red shirt guy. Nah, fuck that. Would argue that when a company, you have to take that risk. I would argue that you are correct. Not have to. Because there is, when we take a look at Pokemon, for example, we take a look and see very clearly the data shows that nobody wants anything different, even if they keep asking for it. What most people don't realize when they ask for something is they don't actually want the thing they're asking for. Marketing trick 101. The best example of this is the Matrix movies. The first Matrix movie was a killer. It was awesome. It set a whole trend for, like, a generation. Trench coats were everywhere. But when you get down to the Matrix 2 and what they tried to accomplish, what they tried to do was give people what they were wanting and what they were asking for, which is they wanted more lore. They wanted to know more about this Matrix thing. They wanted to see some world building. Really get invested in this like Zion place. What they got was exactly what they asked for, and everybody kind of went, I mean, I guess that's cool. It's missing something though, isn't it? And what it was missing is, as it would turn out many years later, we would learn that what it was missing was that it wasn't missing any one thing. They couldn't do anything to give people what they were asking for. What they were actually asking for was the same feeling that they had when they watched The Matrix 1. And in order to capture that feeling, you have to kind of be willing to say, lore's stupid, and throw it out of the window. And with Pokemon, I would say that's very much the same situation where people are asking constantly for, I want a new type of game. I love Pokemon Ranger. I love it when they try Pokemon Battle Stadium. I love XYZ. I love the Pokemon card game. But when you really break it down to the numbers, not enough people like it to justify it for them. Not in a, we don't think this is a good idea, but we financially cannot justify it because what people are paying money for is Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. Which, you know, people talk with their wallets, right? People want what they want. That's not a bad thing. And it would be a bad thing if they didn't give people what they want and decided to go off the wall crazy and just constantly make like, we didn't care, dude. We're like the Sonic team and we're just going to make whatever. Sonic and the Black Knight. Sonic goes on a bunch of skateboards. Sonic in cars. And everybody's going, please stop. He's dead. And then eventually someone came in and was like, Sonic in a movie. Sonic's ugly. And then suddenly things changed. Like there was just like this weird moment where suddenly Sonic was awesome again. It just like reached such a rock bottom low that everyone just looked at it and was like, it just can't get any lower than this. So I guess now it can only be fun. And it got really fun to be a Sonic fan for the last couple of years. I've been having a great time with it. I am unironically excited for that Shadow of the Hedgehog movie that happens to have Sonic and the rest of his friends somewhere over there, I guess. I didn't watch the first two movies. I'm just kidding. I only watched the first one and paid attention to it. The second one I had on the TV and I completely forgot it existed. After about 5 minutes. Being excited about Tails being in there is like being excited about Luigi in a Mario game, okay? I'm gonna say it. I ain't here to watch no Luigi movie. Alright, that is enough ranting. Let me go ahead and take my quick little hit. And then get to drawing stuff. And if anyone has any fun little cursed ideas for things to draw, feel free to say some to drop it in the over in the chat. I'm in a cursed mood. Here, I'll show you how bad it is. I drew this yesterday. Started off like this. I just love this lemur. I'm lemur pilled. And then it became this guy. He's sort of I feel you, bro. I feel you. I'll get excited about a Sonic movie when Amy shows up. I have been learning to like Amy. Oh. He has lived a hard life. That lemur. Let me get my footing on where the heck I am. I'm not saying Amy is the best character, it's just that her showing up would mean someone is trying that little bit harder. Yeah, where it's not just an easy, like, we took a giant poll and we looked for the most important, like, characters, and we're just cashing in. Like, when they start trying to actually, like, do more, like, branching out and doing some interesting stuff with the story, I hear what you mean when they start going into, like, older characters or things like that. I, too, would like to see Big the Cat. I wouldn't like seeing him. In fact, it would make me very viscerally upset, and I would not be able to watch it in theaters. I can't have a human emotion in public. Won't catch me tripping. But I tell you what. I definitely, no. There's a lot of cool things I can imagine them doing with Sonic now that it's a little bit more open. I hope they start making some more games. I think that's actually what I would like to see them do more of. They're kind of just doing the movie thing, which, hey, listen, they need some money. uh, we aren't going to sit here and pretend like they were just using that money on things like mortgages and housing payments. They were definitely doing a whole hell of a lot of cocaine. And we just need to make sure they get enough movie money for them to get enough cocaine, for them to be able to make more Sonic and the Black Knight 2. That's what I'm looking for. That's what I crave! I only actually unironically played like half of Sonic and the Black Knight, and then I was like, this game is stupid. And my favorite part of the Sonic Adventure series definitely was the multiplayer racing part. For whatever weird reason, I just like going really, really fast and not having to worry about the rest of the game. Which probably means I should have just been playing racing games. Which, really, honestly, I should be playing more racing games. I love fast games. And I wish I could find a fast game that didn't feel like just a... I wish I could have a fast game that didn't feel like I was just going down a water slide tube and I was just going faster and faster until it became like just one solid colored tube in my vision. Like it's almost pointless at a certain point when you're going fast enough. And I want to have a game that I've been looking for a game that's been able to combine a couple of things. I want it to be heavy. I want it to be customizable so the stuff I make kind of matters. I would like to be able to like tune my vehicle. I don't think game developers understand why people like cars. Like they don't fundamentally understand that the whole fun of building a car is that it's custom. It's bespoke. It's yours. Every component, every part of it, you know about. It sucks for, like, some average gamer to come in and be like, man, I don't want to have to think about what kind of platinum carburetors I'm putting inside of my car. Why does it matter? I just want to go fast. Okay, great. But you should be able to do things like customize what kind of tires you put on, what kind of chassis you got on. Does it affect the aerodynamics of the vehicle? These things kind of matter when you're thinking about how you tuning up your car. It's not just about the glam. It's not how you rice it up. You gotta have. It's not just the stickers and the spoilers. You gotta actually think about all the stuff that goes in there. That's what makes it great. And I wish that games that did car stuff weren't just games like Jalopy, which Jalopy and Long Drive and My Summer Car. 3 games I must at some point in my life play. Like I just want so badly to play them. Uh Shifting gears real quick. The Sonic Storybook stuff in concept wasn't bad. It was just in practice their mechanic stuff sucked. I agree, and I hope that they have enough money to be able to experiment and try cool shit. I really enjoy the stuff like Sonic Murder Mystery. I thought that was really cool. I think it is a fun way to. I think Sonic's in a point in its franchise career where the more it appreciates its fans, ironically, it's ironic that Sonic is the one that is doing it of all the other franchises that should be capable of doing this, which seems like a simple, straightforward thing, right? You go to your fans and you tell them you like them, and you show them you like them by letting them have a little bit of say in what your stuff is. They are the customer. Why shouldn't their voices be heard? Why shouldn't they get involved in like the game that they want, right? Why shouldn't you be able to go and say we're old enough as a company that we have people who really love this franchise and would love to do nothing more than to make just the coolest thing that they would be happy to have played as a kid? That is a fantastic way for a company to be. What we have instead is a bunch of these goofballs, these triple ass goofballs that are going around, and Nintendo, if it heard word that some kid in the middle of like in the middle of like Kentucky died with a Pikachu in his arms, and he just in order to honor his death, they put his made his coffin into a Pokeball or some nonsense like that. I guarantee you John Ushida Nintendo is coming over and he's kicking that kid's corpse open and he's taking that Pokeball holding a sign up saying DMCA. Don't you ever. Like, that's kind of what Nintendo feels like these days. A lot of companies feel like. It's very hostile, it's very antagonistic towards its fans, which is really stupid. And then they kind of just treat people like moneybags, and they go, I don't understand why the gaming industry is dying. No one buying game went wrong. Because we cancel? We didn't get canceled on internet yet, did we? No, no, no. Send another CEO out. Say something inflammatory. Maybe they're out there. We just need to make more bad Assassin's Creed. You know, that's how we make game money. We just say Assassin's Creed a bunch, and then they go, money. I hate these people. It's disgusting. I don't see why people keep giving these goons money. Triple ass nonsense. But it is very awesome that Sonic is the one that comes out and says, hey, you guys want to make like a murder mystery RPG? Let's pull in some fans too. Let's just do stuff. Why not? Shit that people like. What a concept. What a concept for a company to make things people actually want. Okay, now what was I doing? A mountain over here. And then I know that I want to deal with like Raven being over here. I'm gonna be like, you get out, you. I told you your stupid ass was not welcome here. And then she'll be all like, The restraining order didn't say I couldn't be within 15 feet of you. It just said, stop. Yeah, I have a lot of opinion. I have strong opinions about the gaming industry that, I should probably tamper back. But whatever. I would love to have a day when I can look at some of these games and get excited for anything. But it seems like anytime a AAA industry, company shows up in any form of media, in the news or anything, it's always just them doing something stupid. I've been trying to find a AAA game that I'd actually have liked to have played this year, and I'm shocked that it really doesn't exist. It really doesn't. What a terrible year for AAA games. Good for us. There's some Nintendo stuff, but even they're smaller scale than normal. Yeah. Almost every game I've been excited to play has been a game that I have not been excited to play. How do I best put this? Every game that I've been excited to play has been a game that is already out. Like, what a great time to be, where almost every game I could want to play, I don't have to wait for anymore. I'm not waiting for them to, tease me with all these stupid trailers or all this. Come on, come on. What? You want? You want Halo 4, yes? No, no. You want... You want... You want Master Chief, yes? Nah, dude. But... But... What, Cortana? No. Not even Cortana? Nah. It's... There's such... It just feels completely out of touch to be dealing with these companies. I don't think they know where they're at. I think they're just beginning to realize that COVID has happened. The companies have long COVID. Let's see. Games that I would be excited to play right now basically are just games that I've seen a streamer I've watched get into and play on, and I'm just like, man, that game looks like fun. The games I'm excited to play are Long Drive or My Summer Car or Armored Core 6. Yeah, I gotta get into Armored Core 6. I feel like there's gonna be a mech resurgence in the next couple of months. People are going to have non-stop talk about mech. They just don't realize it yet. You like giant robots. I like giant robots. I'm kind of mad on giant robots, but don't let that stop you. I am totally okay with people being pretty meh on it because it was always supposed to be a super nerd thing. And I'm so glad it continues to remain so deeply nerdy that the only people who like it are people who are hang on. Before I say something really stupid, I'm gonna pause my brain real quick. I'm gonna do that mythical thing where I think about what I say before I say it. And there we go. I think a lot of people got into Gundam and it was a really cool thing, but Gundam is kind of basic bitch in terms of giant robot love. When I was a kid, there was a game called Earth Siege. Super old Sierra game. Um, just giant robots walking around, stomping on stuff, shooting at other giant robots. And you got to customize what weapons and what parts you put on. There was a big component of customization that made it feel more like a car game than any other car game that I currently like have on my like list other than Trailmakers. Trailmakers is a joy of a game and I will never stream it because I don't want to have to sit there and listen to a bunch of people tell me how to engineer something fun, like really cool when my whole fun would be just seeing how this is going to blow up. But you can make some wild stuff with Trailmakers. Imagine like Lego blocks. Yeah, it's exactly like Lego Racers, but with the custom is it like the block type aspect really cranked up. So you can actually like engineer like full blown mechs in that game, like that functional engineered mechs. You can make an RC car that flips inside out and turns into a plane. And I've driven in one of those things, and they have like all these cool little components. It's wild the stuff that people make in that game, and I genuinely highly recommend Trailmakers to anyone who is a bit more of a gearhead. But that's also like I said, most of us would prefer to drive in a car that just gets us from point A to point B. Not everyone wants to sit down and think about how they could really upgrade the left front axle on their vehicle. They just need to get that one custom part that fits in just that one weird way. Go over to Johnny's shop, get that thing threaded just a touch on the end so that it fits, and tap that baby in. And now you've got the perfect front axle for your perfect car. One of these days when I have money, that's exactly what I'm going to do. I do plan on going in and just hand building like a car, my summer car style, but IRL. I'm just going to build. I'm gonna have an engine block, and I'm going to have a chassis, and I'm gonna look around and go, "It's a good day to build a car." Grab a bunch of beer. Most definitely get some form of cancer from all of the hot dogs I'll be ingesting as I sit there and grill and make my car, and then cook my hot dogs on the car. So yeah, I agree. Not everyone's built to be a mech game lover, because for most people, mech games and giant robots are, I guess, Gundam. Which isn't a bad thing. It's just very oh, how do I put it? Hmm. Because I don't feel good saying it's also basic bitch, because that's also kind of just railing on like fellow mech enthusiasts. They're just not as like, I mean, it's not a bad thing to say like I just don't care about all the like in-depth stuff. I just like big robots. But I do think the kind of people that do enjoy that kind of stuff tend to be the kind of folks who would enjoy sitting down and spending all day working on a project in a craftsman's workshop or something. Or, like many of my other mech enthusiast friends, sit down and paint Warhammer models all day. I once was in that group. Not so much anymore. What kind of what kind of Saturday morning cartoons did you have? I've never seen the appeal of TTRPG miniatures either, so I guess that makes sense. That does make a certain amount of sense. Yeah, I mean, different kinds of folk, you know? I have friends that say that they would prefer to have a PDF version of a book, and my brain hates that. I don't like PDFs. I like books, or I like it to be scrollable. I don't like these mid between PDF nonsense. So I suppose that's part of what makes the world an interesting place, right? Have you ever played a tabletop RPG in person? I believe you mentioned that you ran into it only online. So I imagine your first experience was likely in Roll20 without any pieces, because of the way that we do Cardians was storyboard style, like a theater of the mind style. Oh, it's been since high school. You just met your buddies through Cardians, but it wasn't your first time with TTRPGs. Oh, I see. I can see how that might not be something that necessarily appeals to you. I suppose to kind of give my not necessarily my perspective on it. I guess just how I feel about miniatures is I love the building aspect a whole lot. D&D high school was D&D 4th, and DM was kind of shit. Yeah, 4th edition especially was one of those ones where if you weren't on board with the way that it was, with the name of the game, it wasn't really a fun one for a lot of people. Um, because it was more, it's, I'm thinking real quick. So let me put a pin in that real quick for my thoughts on 4th edition, because I do have some interesting, I have thoughts about 4th edition that aren't just, this is a stinky one and it's because they made it like an MMO. I actually have some really, there's some things about 4th edition I love and want to I want to delve into. But first, the reason why I like tabletop miniatures uh is definitely because when I first got into D&D, a whole lot of what my experience was the like ultra nerd experience. There was a dude who had a whole full build set for a labyrinth, and we had our individual little pieces, and we had like everything was constructed with like little miniature pieces. This was a whole thing on a big huge board. And so for me, I love that aspect of it, and it's something that I will struggle to give up on. Which is a problem because I love the idea so much that I hate digital recreations of it. Tabletop Simulator is the closest thing I will tolerate to like the feel, but it doesn't quite get it all the way. I just had a like, what the? I just had like a, I feel lightheaded. Oh my god. Why am I not messing around with Tabletop Simulator? I should be making a. Oh my god. Excuse me. I gotta go write something down. Could I put a VTuber model inside of Tabletop Simulator? Could I just mod my own VTuber model in and then flip my own table? Tabletop Simulator board game night and stuff. That doesn't seem completely out of the question because Tabletop Simulator is so versatile with the modding that I've seen people do some wacky shit. It doesn't actually strike me as crazy to be able to push a 3D VTuber model into Tabletop Simulator and then have it do its thing with collision and everything. I've seen much more ridiculous things. Uh, Tabletop Simulator. Also, board games are just fun as hell. And that would be a really great way to do things on I would love to do some cool like I would love to do cool stuff like board game nights on table in on Twitch and stuff. Yeah. That would be dope as hell. I just I don't know why why it took me so long to think of doing that. I've been so busy scrambling around dealing with all this AATR shit. I just totally forgot that Tabletop Simulator exists, and I just was having like this slow realization of, wait a second, I fucking love Tabletop Simulator. I have so much shit in there. Hold on. As I was shitting on like how much I would tolerate it. No, the actual answer is I love Tabletop Simulator so much. I've actually given them over $300. I've paid for over 18 separate people to have that fucking game. I love it. I love it so much. It's time for it to make me money. I could totally mod a VTuber model in there. I think. I am but an eager skid. I am barely capable. There's no way. No way someone didn't already try doing it. I could definitely steal their code. What am I doing? I'm just sketching over the same thing I've already sketched over. I gotta move my stuff on my desk real quick. I don't know where I am. But golly, this barley tea is good. I tried to get into TikTok today, and it is fighting me. I don't know why, but I think they have some weird security measure that makes it so you can't follow people or do anything on your account for about 24 to 48 hours. Because that's considered bot activity, and that makes you, I guess, I don't know. Apparently, it's a problem that's been around since like the beginning of TikTok. Stupid. Um. Okay. Going back to table talk, tabletop talk. Fourth edition, I did enjoy for the combat aspect of it. If you took fourth edition and ripped it, and instead of treating it as the whole game and treating it as half of the game, it was a really great system. A lot of the stuff that came out of 4th edition got put into Pathfinder 2nd edition, which is why I like Pathfinder 2nd edition so much, because it's similar in nature. It's an action economy system that just runs way smoother, I think, than 5th edition. 5th edition is... It's so scared that people are going to have to think. It's so terrified that at some point they won't be able to have a 5-year-old be able to play this game. Like it really keeps them up at night. And it causes them to make some very foolish design decisions. Things that would add complexity and fun to the game instead of just kind of pandering to this idea that what people want is just more drow that aren't all evil so they can have their drow RP. So many... Dritstoren has so many cousins. Barley. Weirdly enough, between a lot of the other tabletops, I think my absolute favorite would still be World of Darkness. And that only comes at a cost of the combat is made almost a joke. I don't know if you've ever like heard or seen any of the like gameplay that the Guardians West Coast stuff that I did. But when I did combat, it basically was a complete thematic. I would argue that I never once actually understood how combat in that game ever worked. I've had good times with 5th edition and I've had bad times with 5th edition, and it all came down to the GM and their enthusiasm for the group. Absolutely. I would also, so there is another theory that's fun to discuss. And that is the theory that if you go to watch a movie, the nature of the movie itself is not actually all that important. In fact, if you go with a group, uh, it immediately stops becoming about the movie. What becomes more important is how much fun you had with your friends. If you had a bad time, the movie is terrible. If you had a good time, the movie is great. And that is how your memory will work. Is it will blend that whole night together as one overarching thing. It won't be able to discern the difference of I watched the movie and felt this way about this particular scene, when it will instead remember I felt really anxious all night because the guy to my right, I'm pretty sure, was pissed at me over something, over like a bill that I didn't pay. And your brain doesn't remember that it was because of that you were so like really like wired that night and anxious. And it will instead say, I watched that movie and I just didn't really feel good about it. I really didn't like it. It just wasn't my thing. Then you show it to them again later with a different set of people, and they have a complete opposite effect, right? So there's a lot to say about the psychology of social dynamics. And if you have a good GM and a good time, it will always be a good time. Uh, Thus, lending to the credence that if you have a good GM, the system itself doesn't matter. I've had, I think my very first game that I ever like really truly played was a guy basically writing it down on a napkin, like the stats, and then we just rolled one dice and we just added the numbers together, and it was like us escaping from a mall into a like future zombie apocalypse situation. Like it was wild, it was crazy, and we only had strength, dexterity, and intelligence. That was our stats. And we had, if we messed up or a scene went badly, we took HP damage. And then we would get away or something like that. So we would move on. So it never really killed us, it just would injure us until we eventually died. So it was a very cool way to play the game, and there's no system for it. It was just him fucking around and making shit up the entire way. And if you really go and take a look at all of my Cardian stuff, uh, I would argue that I never once knew how to play World of Darkness. I kept making things up. I know that might not be what people from those games want to hear, or I guess maybe they probably knew and they were just humoring me and just happy to be there and do and play. And for that, I am very happy to have ran those. But I definitely will say that I didn't really think too much about systems, and that's why my kind of modus operandi when it comes to um, GMing is I plan as little as possible. I don't plan because if I plan, I'm so busy thinking about what I want the players to do that I don't spend any time thinking and hearing what they want. And this has like This has led to a lot of my stories being really super Frankenstein glued together, and they don't really have any continuity. It almost feels like watching the Supernatural TV series of just like there's just a bunch of goblin like nonsense happening, right? Uh, and then and then this week they show up on a big ass boat, and they don't know where they are. I don't know how I abducted them, but they'll figure it out. And as they're like on the ship, I'm like frantically in the background, like going like clacking away. How many pirates are like in that area? Could I have like abducted them with like changeling pirates or some shit? I don't know. And then you find a shoe on the ground. How mysterious. Clacking away. Oh my god, oh my god. They're gonna find out. They're gonna know. They're gonna know this is all a sham. And that is my GMing style. Has been since the day I started, and it will be till the day I die. And I mostly only use the book, so that way I could just reinforce whatever stupid thing I was doing and say, I mean, it says so in the book, right? And then someone presumably would look it up. I don't know, they could have been lying to me. Okay, I believe you. Sorry, I got a little energized by that. I don't know. Sounds good. Thank you very much for hanging out, Bram. You have yourself a great night. Best of luck on the round. Best of luck to us both. More of you. Mostly because I want to lose. Don't let me in. I don't want to get in past the first round. I just want to look like I'm trying to get in. Because if I don't, the NSA agent will find out, and then he'll be like, "What are you doing?" And I'll lose my alibi. I was just working on all of this OCT stuff, you know? What am I talking about? What am I rambling about? Oh my gosh. I haven't even started drinking yet. I need to, like... I need to zero in. I need to actually, like, do a rough. I need to, like... I need to put my brain into art mode. I got into ranting OCT mode, ranting tabletop RPG mode. I don't like I don't like tabletop RPGs, Babaka. How dare you imply I would ever like a nerd game like Dungeons and Dorks? What you know about demi-planes? Less than me. Tell you what. I don't even know what to draw. I guess that's the point. I need to, like, not know what to draw and just draw anyway. I feel like drawing Sylvia right now, so I'm going to draw Sylvia. With her doctor girlfriend having ass voice that is just me being lazy and refusing to find any, like, voice actor clips and being like, this is what she would sound like. Because in my head, this is exactly what she sounds like. Uh-oh. Is this one of those ill-fated, ill-timed art blocks? More likely than you think. Is that an excuse to slow down or stop? What do I look like? First year art student? Fucking. uh. That would be way fun to run some tabletop simulator type stuff. I'm shocked it took me so long to realize that that was a thing I should be doing. Though I am a little worried that... No, wait, I don't think I... You know what? I don't think I care. Licensing? They got a problem with it, they should take it up with the mod maker. I do need to sit down with the copyright at some point, just like really figure out what will set off their system and what won't, so that way I'm not caught off guard by it again. I do seem to get into trouble with that thing quite a bit. I can't help it. They told me I couldn't do it. So naturally I had to go and say, but how much couldn't I do it? They didn't like that answer. Hmm. I don't usually draw Sylvia when frowning, so this is a bold and new experience for me. Uh, Yeah, I should probably actually. This is more notes for myself, but in the future, I think I'm going to want to make sure that I do a little bit of warming up before I stream because it's really hard for me to get into the zone live while talking. I can be in the zone and then talk while I'm in it, but I can't actually get into it while I'm talking. That whole talking and thinking thing, and how they don't really work all that great when they're happening at the same time. There we are. A little bit of a rough start, but that's okay. Pose is a little bit trashy, but we'll build. It's okay. I'm okay with ugly right now. As long as it gets kind of finished, because I don't want to settle into good enough as like a place either. That's a bad place to be. Good enough sucks. Good enough is sub-excellence. Weakness. Yeah, yeah, always the same pose. Always my comfort pose. Super easy. Just do it. Hurry it up. Come on, get it over with. Get it out of your system. Let's go. Go to the corner where you belong and be very tiny. Be very tiny and unnoticed. Now back to what I was thinking about. I should draw more Raven real quick. Just to get re-familiarized with that gremlin. Nasty, nasty gremlin Raven. You have been subsumed. But what a simple and stupid design. That isn't a self-negging. That's not a self-negging statement for me saying that it is a stupid design. That is a very objective statement of the design itself is not good. So let me break out down the way that her design works is that she only has basically 3 colors, which that's fine. That's part of the way that I kind of do my thing. I can actually, the more I talk about it, the angrier I get about it, the more I can draw her faster. She's got a bandit mask thing going, and then the only real thing that I added that made her kind of unique was that she had a Hydralisk split jaw thing. And then she would be able to open out her mouth and then, like, have a bunch of, like... She was basically, like, this big bag of worms of, And that was her tongue that was hanging out from her throat. And the more words that she ate, the more stuff she could do, maybe quietly inspired by some of the stuff that Blue Cactus Games has been up to with their tabletop RPG book, Parslings. Fantastic game. I hope that people give that game a shot. I'd love to give it a shot one of these days. Maybe that might be the way I do things, where I kind of host a, like, test tabletop game and just have people, like, show me how to play a game or something like that. And I try not to lose my temper on camera, as I begin to realize once again I might know a lot about games, that doesn't mean I like them. What Sylvia see that got her down in the dumps? I don't know. Well, I think Raven has a great design. I'm glad that you do. I think that my issue with her design is that it is very, very simplistic, but it also, I guess, works for what she kind of, for that setting. Which is why she has, like, a little more standout compared to some of the other villain cast for Cardians. Compared to, like, Zulfikar or the Hook. The Hook definitely was not, like, even one of mine. It was just, he was just vague guy who had, like, a dress-up situation and big hook thing. Like... And she had, like, a bunch of, like, frilly hair out back. But in terms of design, this is kind of, like... I think I was starting to push it really best when I really started getting a lot more monstrous with her, but that, I think, are in my, like... my, non-shared stuff. Which, I've got some sketches of it where she's definitely a whole lot more, like... Because these black spots on that the bandit mask are actually just 2 overlapping, very large black worms covering a giant crater in her, like, head. She doesn't actually have this top half of her skull. And then there's just a writhing mass of, like, worms inside and stuff. But I never got quite past having her dress up the way that she was, or being able to, like, put her into different bodies, which is kind of where I needed to push that design. In order to really kind of ramp up the latent horror of that particular character. And I never really got around to making her into a proper villain, because the last time she showed up, basically the West Coast, the second West Coast crew immediately tried to, like, work on befriending her, and I made them have to regret it, but it made it so that when things kind of ended off, it was not hostile enough for me to be able to go in there and do what I really wanted to do, which is massacre a bunch of characters that they like. and then put brain worms in them. There we go. Yeah. Between all the characters that I have, though, her design definitely is my least favorite. Just there's not a lot going on with it really, other than just girl with suit and tie, which basically is what the electronic artist Rez here. She's been a big favorite of mine, but when she showed up on the scene, she didn't have the spiral goggles that she was doing. And it didn't take long for me to start to notice when she started doing it. Yeah, it was. She basically has these spiral goggles that make her look very much like Raven, and the music that she makes is also stuff that I would associate with Raven as well. And that is basically why I no longer like the design, because it looks too much like her and I'm bored with it. And the only thing that would be different really is the fact that Raven has the red-winged sun symbol over her forehead, which I stole from Twilight Princess. Lifted large portions of the design from Twilight Princess because I like that game. My favorite design among my own characters. Or are you talking about of all characters? I wouldn't actually be able to know where to begin with an all characters situation because there's a lot of little things that I like about a lot of different characters. I would have to think about that for a very long moment. Of all of my own designs, right now, my favorite one is Sylvia. And I would consider Sylvia to be an evolution of Raven's design. They use the same color palette. They operate in a similar space, and the only difference is massive, like other than like obvious stuff like their powers and the way that they look, is personality. Yeah, no, they got a lot of similarities. At least in my mind, that's what happened. is she got all of the design chops for that, and then Amanai got turned into Kaida. Like, my characters morph around and get recycled and reused a bunch. But that's also mostly because I haven't gone through and done a proper redesign on, like, Kaida, so her new design might be my new favorite, I don't know. We'll see. But right now, my comfort character, the one that I draw the most, is probably Sylvia. Yeah, here's a little bit more of a lineup. I would want to redo Amanai again, who will still be around. And same with Raven. It's not like they're not getting thrown away if I do a thing with these characters. It's just more their positions of importance in my mind have changed. And there are characters that don't have designs yet. They're still, like, Rin, for example, is one of those characters where uh, I just have ideas and inflections about what I want out of her, and I don't have the time or technical know-how to do it at that moment. And it usually comes in the form of I don't have the time because I'm doing so many other things. I do like Sachi's trench coat more than the overcoat suit. Yeah, I think trench coat would work better for her because she's supposed to feel a little more old school. It's supposed to make the underworld era vampire hunters feel like underworld era and Matrix era vampire supernatural hunters feel ancient. I want them to feel crusty and old in the same way. I want to kill the trench coat. I want to put it in the ground and shoot it with a shotgun a bunch. No one will ever pick it up again. And then it will finally be cool again to wear them because it will be uncool to wear them. See how that works? That's exactly how it works. Just like a masquerade bloodlines. I think this would be a really cool scene to show off. I want Raven to be more cool than just sitting there menacingly. I kind of want her to have an entrance, but I also don't want to spend a lot of time on this. It might actually be better for me to just scrap all of this and rethink this from the ground up. I think that's where I'm going to do this. Yes. So I'm going to keep up to this point. This is already set in stone. I'm not changing anything about this. For a long time, I think Amanai was always my favorite design. Oh, hang on a second. Oh. Can you explain what's going on with Sachi and Kaida's glowing blue eye? Uh, that is their thing that lets them see into the spirit world. Sachi is permanently blinded by... Oh, actually, hang on. So, that is what it used to be, is it used to allow them to see into the spirit world. It was a thing that they would, I don't remember how they got it. The first iteration of it was like some weird tattoo ink that they would put in their eye, and when they absorbed a supernatural's power, it would drive them mentally like unstable or some nonsense like that. But eventually, they would have that power. And my excuse was like, oh, it would make them more crazy for longer, or give them more derangements, based on how strong the ability was that they stole. Uh, that eventually turned into Sachi was able to see into Underworld constantly, and see spirits and things like that. And now what it is it is both. Sachi's version lets her see. So Sachi is old school and doesn't realize that she got it from seeing an angel, which is what Sylvia is. Like if you see an angel in its true form, you become like stigmatized, where like there's some part of you gets really messed up and it is permanently seared in. Like the memory of what you of having your like seeing an Old Testament like eldritch angel would fuck you up super bad. And so that is what that blue glowing eye is now. And Sachi is permanently blinded in both eyes by it, but has a glowing blue eye, so she can still kind of sense something. She just interprets it as I can see into the spirit world. Kaida also got hit with it and is not blind in her eyes, but she is definitely stigmatized, and she also can see things, but she can see, I think it's going to be like, I haven't decided yet between like cyber, if she can like see like electric frequencies or like lines or things like that. I have to like do more research on like how that might like look, if you could see radio frequencies or something like that. But that's what that's going to be. So the blue eye is literally just a thing, a fun design element that I make bullshit up and stick into it. I'm not sure if you were here earlier to hear about my GM style rant of how I like to GM, which is I make shit up all the time and basically panic nonstop the entire time. And someone will say something or whisper like, "Oh my god, is it going to be this?" And I realize, "Oh my god, it was going to be that." And I pivot super hard to the right and just make some new shit up. That's basically how I did Guardians all the time, every time. And the only times I'm a bad GM, like in the way of like I'm really not fun to play with, is when I have a book in front of me and I'm like having to like go with the story and I'm starting to like push the players in a direction because I want the story to go a certain direction. Instead of the way I do with Guardians, where when I'm doing Guardians, I just do whatever the players are doing and then try to surprise them all the time. So if someone did come up out of nowhere and say something like, "Oh, does the glowing blue eye that we saw out of Sachi, does that let her like see into the spirit world?" My brain would immediately say, yeah, "No, not anymore. It isn't." And then I would make up some new bullshit. Oh man, I need to stop coming back to this page. I keep wanting to fix it. There's so very much wrong with it. Yeah, that's better. And then I can get this off of that tangent over there. I do strongly dislike tangents. I hate them. Tangents killed my family. And they ate my dog. And they took him to the corner realm. They never gave him back. And I hold that anger deep in my heart. And everyone around me says, oh, he's just misunderstood. No, they just don't know. I'm just angry. I'm just an asshole. GG, no re. Skip bank, do not pass go. I do like that better. Nasty little arm. Oh my god, I have more barley tea inside my... Oh, good. How exciting. I'm gonna regret saying this. No, I'm not going to say it. I'm going to reserve myself. Yes. No, no, no. The idea is evolving. And I didn't like that. I don't... No, the problem is I do like it. I do. Okay, fine. We'll just let the idea cook for a second. We'll let it simmer. I do sound like an insane person who's just talking to themselves. This is how I think. Give me a moment. So, I mean, when I ran the first Cardians, West Coast, and I was sitting there looking at 12 plus 12 some odd people going, I gotta find a way to run all of them because I can't just take the normal 4 or 5 that I'm comfortable with. I gotta be able to accommodate, the group effort. It was a real occasion. Before that point, I had a hard limit of I would never run more than 4 or 5 people ever. And after that point, I also would agree that I would never go past that point. But I also would say that I never had the notion or idea to run so many people before. It would, if you ever asked me, I would have said it was an impossibility and it was stupid. It was so impossible and stupid that I had convinced myself that I needed a second GM to be able to actually pull it off. What I needed to do was to not worry so much about that and just run on different days and just be at more West Marches. A lot of cool lessons I learned from all of that. That being said, I have a lot of confidence that I am capable of at least. No, 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 no. Could I? No. It's not. That's not the issue at hand. Not that we couldn't. It's more of a question of do we want to? Can I concentrate on doing things like art while also GMing? I don't think I've ever tried. I don't think that's possible. Listen, there's trying to go and there's trying to be ambitious, and then there's trying to go and full body a vehicle moving at 80 miles an hour and expecting to just walk when you're done. There's foolishness too. One does not simply GM for a bunch of psychopaths like a Twitch chat. At least not without money. Well, I'm gonna put that in the mental docket for later. This shall be thought of. I really, really hate this. It looks so stiff and boring. It's mediocrity. Knows no bound. Live tabletop with Twitch chat. It's an idea. Push it to the extreme because there's nothing else to lose. No. This is just bad. So, we're just going to erase it. Goodbye. Release me, foul selection temptress. No, I gotta put this on a sketch layer. Don't be silly. Don't be some kind of buffoon. Energy, energy. It's coming in super. She's coming in real fast. And then she goes bam, and then she splat. Make her feel kind of reptile-like, raptor-like. Which should be more bird of prey-like, I suppose, but that's... A thing can be multiple things. At once. Bird raptor, lizard raptor. All raptors. She slam into that. So fast. You could see her neck. So fast her arm hasn't fully caught up yet. This is way better. I'm never gonna get past these pages. Oh. It's just gonna be a continual... It'll be an endless loop of me just making These 3 pages. But by the end, they will be the best 3 pages I will have ever done. I'm gonna go get more barley tea. Think about my life choices. Hey! Oh, gee, how I love thee. Ah. And now, smoke break. Ah. What's going on Discord? You ever heard of the Phoenix Command System? Yes. I played the Phoenix Command System, but it was in a game design course back in college. With a guy named Mr. Emmerich. He's the guy who coined the term 4X strategy games. If you actually go to Wikipedia, you can actually see they reference him, Alan Emmerich. But yeah, in that course, I remember it was part of a series of games that we were playing, so it's kind of a blur that it happened with Phoenix Command. I don't remember having any like particular feeling towards it. In the same way that I don't have any particular feeling towards like old-timey actual like war games. I have like somewhere hidden in like my Trove database of like all recorded well a whole lot of recorded RPG systems. One of those things that we actually played and had to study was the birthplace of where tabletop RPGs came from. And where it came from is back during the Napoleonic era. There was a type of war game that Napoleon would have his generals play, which essentially was a super old school version of D&D, except it was the GM was a general, and their whole job was to tell you whether or not the battle movements were going to be hindered or helped by certain things. And the lieutenants would sit there and like make decisions on, all right, well, if they're coming in this way, then I'll move I'll move in to intercept and like flank them from the side with like a cavalry. And then the GM says, aha, your cavalry doesn't arrive on time. And he's just No, I have to think of something else. You better think of something quick because your men are dying. And he's just knocking pieces over. Like that was the original war game. And it evolved into Tin Soldiers, and that's why they started making Tin Soldier miniatures, was for those board games. That's why you still see it in Warhammer 40k. Um, the echoes of it are still prevalent today. Um, and so you have like this really cool you have this really cool system that evolves into multiple little versions, and Phoenix Command is kind of just another one of those versions. It's kind of just like systems don't really matter that much to me personally, and that's not me bashing on any particular system or saying that you should like something or this is good or bad. I don't have particular feelings towards Phoenix Command, mostly because for me it's just kind of an educational novelty. um I don't remember it being very distinct. There were a lot of games that we were playing, and a whole lot of them mostly involved just like, oh yeah, it's just like this is just old D&D. And then everything is just D&D stealing from everybody else until it steals from itself and then becomes very bad. Way I heard it, some NASA scientists wanted to make a realistic gunplay system. Anytime anyone wants to make a realistic something system, what it ends up being is it looks exactly like Dwarf Fortress. It is only cool to people who like the thing and are super, super nerdy about it. And that is a wonderful thing for them. For the rest of us who actually have to deal with playing it, it usually means open up spreadsheet. Um, yeah. It appears that my Sig Sauer 45 should be capable of, based on the velocity of standing at this exact range and this exact distance, my bullet won't have lost all of the forward angular momentum required to uh, pierce through that, 2-inch thick wall. I remember a guy I knew showing the hundreds of tables to calculate how much damage you take from getting shot in the leg. So, that's what I mean. That's exactly what I mean. It's stupid for everyone else to play. Is it cool to look at? Yes. Is it an educational novelty? Yes. Just because it was made by a NASA engineer doesn't mean that it's going to be like a fun game. It means that a NASA engineer was really bored one day, had nothing better to do, and he was going to sit down with a pen and paper and waste fucking company time on an Excel spreadsheet. Which gets him big thumbs up meme points, but also means doesn't mean it that also does not mean it was a good thing that he did. In terms of like what was end up being made. So what people don't like is hundreds and hundreds of tables. I want you to tell me whether or not you have actually played the game yourself. Yeah, actually I do recall that being like we were sitting there looking at the dice and all these charts, and I was just like, oh my god, this is like Risk except sillier. And the only people who would like this are people who are very concerned with appearing to be very, very nerdy. The kind of folks who probably have on their Twitter handle somewhere, hidden in their bio, polyglot. Self self-made polyglot. No, I don't play TTRPGs. I want to just that I can't find people or GM to do it with. I just knew the guy would use it for Salem games he would host. Well, I mean, if they're fun, good for him. I want you to think about everything that I just said about how I GM, and I want you to, like, rub a couple of those brain cells together and think for a second. Would I like a system like that if I had to take it for serious? A stupid system that just bogs my time down and wastes everyone's time with stupid rule lawyering bullshit. In fact, that is the exact thing that I despise in any game. Mostly because the kind of people who are into those kind of games aren't actually all that clever or very smart or interested in the physics themselves. They just want to argue about stupid shit.
Excuse me. This, this particular chart over here says that you have to make this kind of a roll in order to determine whether or not it gets within range of the attack. And then once you get there, you have to make this roll to see whether your IBS allows you to make the swing without having digestive problems in 3 turns.
Back when I asked how much for you to GM a game for me, it was because the Kill 6 Billion Demons guy put out an icon, and I thought, oh, this looks fun. I'll be real with you. There was no actual number that you would have been able to give me that I would ever have said yes to. I just didn't want to GM for anyone, and I still don't. In a weird, like, I don't know if I really want to go and do any of that stuff for any group of people ever again. Like, I only do that for friends. I don't do that for randos. And I certainly don't do it for, like, or I haven't tried, is a better way to put it. If I ever do something like that, the current terrible idea I have is a John Dies, what was it? A Everyone's John style insanity game of some guy is wandering around and I'm just telling a dumber story around this one guy. Yeah. And that's mostly because of what I put in when I'm GMing. It is a 300% effort. If I didn't have the time and the perfect combination of things to happen, I don't think it would have been as big or gone for as long as it would have with Guardians or any of my other games. Most of them should probably have never have lasted nearly as long as they did. But they also take a whole lot to run properly. It's not just... Some people, I guess, run casual games. I don't know what that's like. Casual games kind of bore me. But... I don't know. We'll see. Mostly because I'm also very particular about the players that I deal with, because I know what kind of players I like and what kind of players I just would rather kick out. Actually, now, yeah. There's a lot of kinds of players that I will not tolerate anymore. You can thank a whole lot of other people in the past for ruining those kind of personalities for me with things that I'll play with, and one of them is definitely the guy that does not take the game. He just doesn't care about anything about the game. He's just there to have a good time and just shit on everything, and everything's just a funny little game to him, and it's just so like whatever. Yeah, I'm just gonna kick them out within day one next for from now on. That's just a goner. And the next kind of personality that I would kick out is the I'm gonna do a thing, but I don't know how. I want to do diplomacy. What is what do you mean with rules? I don't know how any of this stuff is so complicated. I should just be able to just talk to people, right? Yeah, people who can't read, they're also getting kicked out. Which is probably why I can't play with normal people anymore. Like, it would have to be only with a group of people I'm already familiar and comfortable with enough to want to run them. And that is actually a whole lot less people than you would imagine. And this obnoxious character that came in one time, and he was supposed to be a Markiplier level Twitch streamer, and he got sent into the hedge, and his whole shtick was how he was basically it was a constantly evolving series of him trying to find ways to say I'm a psychopath, but I don't know what psychopathy really means. Uh, and it was a very one-dimensional attempt to just shit on streamers and my story at the same time, with like under the pretense of, but I'm just doing it for the RP. I'm doing it for my character. You know, it's very important for my character. And I realized at that moment, no, I do not want to play with people who just want to sit there and shit on a game. Fuck them. Because what I have done in the past is tolerate it and just go through and have to deal with numerous versions of that person for many more months than I ever wanted to deal with that kind of a person. And that's when everything starts getting nuclear. Also, the idea of being paid for GMing disgusts me. Maybe I should put another one in here. I need to let this page go. There we go. That's what I was looking for. Little muscle definition. I'm going the wrong way. Should actually be going the other way. Right? Shit. Oh, but that doesn't look good at all. Well, maybe I'm not really giving it its fair due. Hang on, let's try this. You know what? You know what? This is working. This is doing stuff. I like that. Yeah. Makes it feel like she's slammed into the rock. How do I set this up so that way the eyes are isolated? Let me try using that mind's eye thing that I magically come with. Just, Okay. We do not have to limit ourselves to looking from there. I can tilt her head to look like that. Yes. Now we can see that she has eyes with no irises, because when she's going this fast, she can't see. She's like a shark. Or they roll their eyes up into their sockets. She just turns her eyeballs off because they just can't see anything. So why bother? Save energy. Think less with structure, think more with light and composition. Just what do I need this shot to do? I don't have to think about. I don't have to think about stupid things like being on model. There we go. That's more fun. Also, this thing needs to go away, so I can see more. Feed me see more. That's how comedy works these days, right? It's just a bunch of callbacks. Callbacks to old memes so people can have the member berries. Way better. Okay, well, I'm back to my original problem of not being able to, not having my sketches. What time is it? Almost 11? Ah. I've been doing this for 2.5 hours. Mostly ranting, though. I don't think I actually did as much work as I think I did. I just been bouncing back and forth between these 3 frames and being an old man. Oh. Oh, yeah? No, no, no. I want these. Brave, why do you want to update so dang much? Do you even know what you're updating? Oh, yes, exhaustion, take me. Sleep good. Oh my god. Virgin arm finished satisfactory. Oh my gosh, I must give him so many reward. One clap. Satisfactory is a very good game. But it pales in comparison to Oxygen Not Included. At least in terms of what I'm looking for out of these kind of games. I like a little bit more automation set up to be in the form of little colonists. Factory lines are very fun for a bit. Let's not worry about limitations right now. Let's just focus on what am I needing out of this page? What do I even want? Let's bring Raven in, except she looks really, really fucking monstrous. No. I'm going with Aki's version of Raven. Still monstrous, though. Actually, that would be a really cool shot. Monsters. Rule number one of monsters. Only have one main thing that they do. Don't muddy them up with two ends of dangerous stuff. Make the business end one thing. Raven had a business end of her face, so that's what we're going to lead with. Her nasty, gross tongue. Yeah. That's right. The more worms I have, the more words I can use. I have to actually bring out a lot more of these guys. I wanted to always show off that Raven's mechanic was that she killed people and ate their brain to get the new words. That never really came up all that much. Kind of like the idea of her kind of being a little bit of a knuckle dragger now. Yeah, make the angle more dramatic. Well, since everybody in the GCS artist chat has been complaining about foreshortening, and everybody in Artist at the Ready has been complaining about foreshortening, I should try foreshortening. Apparently, that's the Dark Souls boss. There we go. That looks good. And then have her maybe pop out of the frame. That would be kind of sick, actually. And this page very much needs to get revised. I like the idea that at the very top of other side, at the very tippity top, there is a secret hatch. A Minecraft hatch at the top of other side. I don't need to draw the whole thing. That was just for me. Okay, so I just need to give the implication that there's something that's down further in. What's in the hatch? Kaida. Kaida's in the hatch. The only person to have made it to the top of Other Side Mountain, other than Sylvia, I think, will be Kaida. Oh, wait, no. Yeah, because no one ever went to... No, they went out to the summit. Yeah, that was the point of the ending. They made it to the summit. I'm not about to go and denigrate all that work that all those people in the other side did. But I am going to say that there's a Minecraft hatch at the top of the other side. I just kind of want to have it look like that, just because that looks really sick. Have to go find the old entries for Other Side and figure out what the name of the clown was. And the artist who done did it. that establishing shot needs to be more clear that it's the top of other side. Yeah, I believe that Alfred got at the time OD. I believe OD was worked on something like I believe it was Pro something. It had something to do with yeah, there was another OCT that they worked on that I remember seeing, and then there were a few others that have been floating around. I don't know about the other one, this second one though. Rebellion, where the gimmick was your OCs are rebellion, and do you join them or fight against them? Well, that seems interesting. Oh my god. A shrine to the clown man in the form of one of those those Buddhist carvings that you sometimes find up in the mountains. He will be there. And then I'm also going to make him just hang out inside of the Winter's Cave with Kaida, where they're just gonna be gaming it up or something. I don't know. Something stupid. Oh. Fun one. One last cup. of that good brew barley tea. Put the rest inside the refrigerator. Okay, well, let me figure out the sketch on this gamer cave real quick. Probably get a little snack after, and then, we'll see what game I want to play tonight before I go to bed. Okay, so I already know where this thing is gonna be. I don't need to have it here right now. It's taking up room. Valuable space I need for my new best friend. That's the way I want to move it, yes. Not make bigger, just taller. And maybe I want to just take a quick tip from Edgar, Curly Artist, and just expand the page on its own. Because canvas sizes are arbitrary. He is correct. What a smart fellow that guy is. Yeah, this needs to gradually lead up, and so I need to get to the clown statue in the between here. Kind of nestled inside here, actually. Yeah, I'll have to look up the reference on that clown later. Yeah. No more structure. Don't think about structure. I can go for a more dynamic angle. That's a fun shot. I like that. Every character should get a chance to come in and look like they get the Smash character select intro version of their screen. The funny hero shot. Need to. I already gave one to Sylvia. Yeah, I still haven't figured out Kaita's outfit yet. I don't want to give her a bomber jacket because that'll make her look like stupid ass Elon Musk. Way to ruin bomber jackets. Cringe looking ass bitch. And that kind of branches off that way, leading into I need to think about this a little bit more. No, he needs a real gamer chair. That's the winner of an OCT right there. Mm-hmm. There we are. Don't think about structures, think about what I need. What I need for her to be hmm. Okay. This pose is going to be giving me problems, I see. Also, she needs to be taller because that door is really big. Hmm. Alright, I can feel my brain shutting off, and I don't want to do any of this anymore, so I think I'm done for now. Thank you all for watching. You all have a good one. I might pop back on here in a couple minutes to do a game. I don't know. We'll see. I got a snack first. See ya. Oh. My model's been all messed up this whole time, huh? Dang. Oh, it's been broken for about around the last half hour? Whatever.